Looks like we're good. Volume looks reasonable. Yeah. Hey, everybody. This is Ranior or Ryan here with another Terra Mystica arena match. We are up to Gold 1 and we just entered the queue. And we'll hope to have a game very shortly. We got some decent players hanging out in the queue with us. Hopefully we get a fourth pretty quickly. Yeah, let's take a peek at where things are at. The season is a little ways in, but obviously a lot to go, so plenty of time left to make moves and see where things happen. 6 people have made it up to Elite, 53 have made it up to Gold. The Elite groups thus far, Jay is incredibly good. He used to be rated #1 at various times. This guy is kind of coming out and started. I haven't really played with them much, to my knowledge, but I just chatted with them a bit earlier today, and they're doing pretty well. I think they just had a great game against NerdCube today, so it'll be interesting where they keep going. Yeah, really nice beatdown against NerdCube. Have I played them before? I did play them once, and had a pretty close game that we won last season, apparently. Yeah, last season. So that was good times, but anyhow, that's very good. Deep Finesse, NerdCube, and Hephaestus are all very good. They all just made it into Fire 2 Open, so that's all good. I don't know much about this player. And then some of the other people at nearing the top, Rafa and Claymore, are both very good. We're currently 31st. A lot of Gold 1 players, it looks like, down here, and probably a bunch of Gold 0s. So it's a little tough, actually, to move in the Gold tier, because beating Bronze opponents doesn't really do much for you. So it's actually... It'll be easier for everybody to move once there's more players that are Gold and Elite, because when you beat them, you move up a lot more. So it's actually also like a lot of these ratings for the Elite players are not very good yet, but that also kind of makes sense because everybody's ratings has restarted, and like while we can't see ours yet, we've only played 9 games, so we're probably rated quite a bit worse than we really are, and so anybody that actually beats us right now isn't really getting... They're not getting like the fair credit for that compared to what we really are, which is totally fine. I mean, that's how arena works, and it's all good, but it does mean that it's a bit easier. It's a little easier to climb up and get higher ratings as everybody else starts to get rated a bit more as well. So I didn't know that there was... I don't remember that this was a thing, but anyhow, yeah, we're just waiting for somebody. What ranking do I need to get to, Fofo? I don't need to get anywhere, but my goal is to be the #1 rated player at the end of the season. So the way once you reach Elite League, you get a rating, which is what these 4-digit numbers are, and as you beat other like high-rated players, your rating goes up. And our goal is to just be #1 by the end of the season, which usually takes... over the last couple seasons has taken getting to like an 1800 or something. So we'll see if we can be #1. Anyhow, we have a game going, which is cool. None of these players are, to my knowledge, like great, so that's all right. We have some Earth events into Air events. We have a really ugly looking end of the track. Big buildings followed by temple means there's not a lot of ways to score. The pass tiles are good for like big buildings and big up strats. There's no spade, there's no priest. That means that priest production here is reasonable good. There's tons of workers on the cults, lots of spades, only a couple early coins. I mean, this looks pretty good. I thought TM means... oh no, Fofo, don't say that, Fofo. So TM for me always means Terra Mystica. I don't like terraforming Mars very much, and I remember the Halcyon days of yore, where TM always meant Terra Mystica for everybody. And those were good days. And then Terraforming Mars came around, and yeah, that was a shame. I think I'm taking Swarmlings here. This track kind of sucks for everybody, but Swarmlings I think are actually going to be quite strong here. And if our opponents are not particularly great, they probably don't actually know how to play Swarmlings particularly well. And 359 is like a decently strong player. 340, a decent player. 371. So they're all like reasonably good, but definitely not in our tier. So we'll see. We'll see what that leads to. Whoops. I usually go drop in the stream channel, though. Where did that move to? There it is. All right. Sorry, just dropped a announcement to others. That often lets some of the other Terra Mystica people know to actually come over. Yay, making up for no all expert game this weekend. Yeah, yeah, our schedules just didn't work out for the Lumen stream, which was a bit sad. CS has kind of been working a bit more. I went to some family to watch the Packer game and stuff, and so it was tough for all of us to find a time. Hopefully, this next week it'll work out. It's been a little while here since the holidays and stuff that we've got one of those Lumen streams. So, anyhow, we see dwarves, we see cultists. Dwarves, I think, are pretty good here. All these worker cults, or the workers on the cults, are really good for dwarves. They can do a lot of tunneling. This map sucks for dwarves though, so you have to really balance that out. But early earth cults are really good for dwarves, and then later workers are really good for dwarves. Dwarves can try to build like a stronghold and a sanctuary in later rounds. So actually, like, I think it's okay for dwarves, and because it's so low scoring, dwarves' inherent victory point scoring is a lot better. But now we get chaos magicians, which makes dwarves' lives even harder. Swarmlings are probably going to start here. Cultists are going to probably go there. Dwarves probably go here. Chaos maybe can try to get greedy for the center and try to beat somebody to a green hex or a yellow hex, but it's a bit greedy. More realistically, I think Chaos starts here, which means I think Swarmlings. There might be a world where Swarmlings actually get to dig out a stronghold town in the center, which is pretty incredible. I think Swarmlings are just like a surefire. Like you're gonna have a good game. So I see no reason not to bid on them. Hitting this town event's pretty impossible for Swarmlings. You might not get spades in round one, depending on what you're up to. So like that's not good, and you're probably gonna build sanctuary early. So like you're talking about getting very few track points as Swarmlings, to be fair. But the pass point should be really good, and if you just get water one, air one, and you do decent things on the cults. Admittedly, the cults are gonna be a mess here, but we'll see what happens. This would be awesome if our opponents just jumped over to other stuff and we just get a real cheap Swarmlings. Again, if none of them particularly know how... I mean, Swarmlings aren't great here, but... I should pay attention to what pass tiles we're going to get. Big buildings probably going to go to Chaos Magicians. Cultist probably takes Worker Power, which means Dwarves probably take 4 coins in a Cult. So Swarmlings are going to possibly... Maybe Swarmlings are just going to take one of these tiles just to get double dig. It's fine. Yeah, Swarmlings get double dig if they want. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was just looking at. I think Swarmlings probably take a tile just to double dig, and you open with a game plan of maybe you do rush a town, because if you open double dig, then you just need one more dig, and maybe you can get all these hexes in this matchup with a stronghold in the center. You maybe do make a round 2 town. I'm not getting away with cheap Swarmlings yet, but that's okay. I'm willing to bid a decent bid on Swarmlings because I think Dwarves are just pretty bad on this map, and I think it's going to be tough here too. If Dwarves aren't getting double dig in round 1, all these factions need to fight for digs. I'm not sure when Dwarves get them. Dwarves will at least get some spades, but Chaos are getting bid down a lot, which is nice. I don't think Cultists are particularly bad here. I don't think they're particularly great, but whenever you have doubled up cults like this, cultists can't be that bad. The big issue for all 3 of these factions, to be honest, actually all 4 of these factions, are that we're all quite culty. So the race to the 2 key town, I think, matters quite a bit this game, just so you can actually close out cults. Because these are all, like, dwarves are fairly culty because they have nowhere else to send their priests. And then Chaos gets lots of favor tile cults. Just because they take multiple favor tiles, they tend to get extra bumps. Now, I do think people overstate how culty Chaos can be. Because I think I think Chaos are good at kind of late game cults where yeah, you build a temple and you can take 3 steps and close them out if they haven't already been closed out. But I think it takes so much effort to win cults otherwise that it's not always worth it for them. So we'll see what happens, but like I don't think you have to play super culty chaos as long as you get like Earth One, Water One stuff. You can just play more expansiony, but most people are gonna go pretty cults. We're bidding a lot for Swarmlings. We might have to actually think about things soon. Oh, someday I dream of getting in that arena match where I just get a stupidly cheap faction other people were talking about getting in at their early season, but most of the auctions I'm in I feel are pretty fair thus far, which is totally fine, but I don't mind just getting some free wins every once in a while. Anyhow, cultists are always very cult-oriented factions. Swarmlings tend to get good points from cults, so yeah. If dwarves take e4, do you even try to sanctuary town in the middle round 2? Oh, well, so I love getting sanctuary in round 2, but yikes. It depends on how much leech I'm actually going to get as Swarmlings. It could be a lot, right? So, like, if I double dig... Oh, and I am Swarmlings, so I'm pretty happy about that. I didn't pay too much, especially compared to the other good factions. Chaos are even lower than me. Cultists are only 5 victory points better. We're only 12 behind dwarves. I think that's pretty good here. So that's nice. Anyhow, dwarves probably do try for this hex, to be fair. So yeah, we probably don't beat them to that. So hoping for a stronghold town in the center is probably a bit bold, but we'll see. I think my other one goes over here, and I hope to just get a sanctuary town on these. It still gives an option for maybe later carving out a third town, but I don't really believe in a third town in this matchup, or this setup. There's just so little incentive to build more buildings. You tend to just get more victory points by advancing digs and just hoarding resources. Yeah, so like I could come down in here and fight for territory. I could try to like take a sanctuary town through these hexes, but if dwarves like beat us to this, it's just kind of sad for us. Whereas here, we just get these 3 hexes with like no issues. And I'm okay with that. The only slight issue here, I guess, is like if I don't get a neighbor. So like if chaos goes here, that would be kind of a bummer. I think chaos are just gonna get greedy and go center this game, to be honest, though. But it is a bit awkward if I don't get a if chaos don't start on one of these two. It is actually kind of awkward, but I think I'm gonna hope that they do, and if they don't, I'll suck it up. Chaos might go here. They could get surrounded pretty quickly, so it's still risky for them, but they might do it. I'm hoping they go here otherwise, but they could go here. Here is not as crazy as I wish it was. And they do go there. Yeah. And they're gonna just go sanctuary, which means we don't have neighbors, which is awkward. That was not the plan. Not the plan. But we're just gonna pay for an expensive stronghold, which is gonna slow us down a bit, but it's okay. It's okay. I think I'm still just going for double dig. I think being on temp ship is probably more annoying to our opponents. Yeah, being on temp ship looks more annoying, so we go with that option. Who's more likely to single dig? Cultists already can, so they could single dig here. Otherwise, dwarves would single dig here. Nobody else has range. I guess I just build this one first, and then this one, and then start building up and hoping I have a neighbor by that point. I guess I should do the math on how many coins I need, though. Ooh, yeah, that's a bit awkward. I can't actually build this dwelling unless I have a for sure neighbor. So that's, yeah, this is not good. I did not think through well enough what would happen if cultists and chaos didn't start center. Cultists not starting here is definitely a risk for them long term on their connection, because I could double dig this brown, and then cultists probably never connect because dwarves probably essentially like build through here, and chaos will build through a lot of this stuff. So like this hex is usually connection. Cultists go over here rather than next to us because why would they build next to us when they could get a cult step off of us? I don't know. Apparently they don't want that. So yeah, that sucks. Yeah, we just have to suck it up and we have to go for a stronghold here. And we're paying 4 extra coins for it. There's just no way around it. Yeah. This is gonna be really slow. I have way less leech than I thought. I haven't actually really experienced this on this map. Usually everybody wants to like have a big leech party in the center. I'm not used to people willingly trying to have a leech party in the south when they could have more leech in the center. But like chaos, I kind of get chaos doing this though because dwarves otherwise beat him to this hex. So maybe it is the right move, but it's a little sucky for them because if they're up here, they'd be getting so much leech off of me. But cultist not building next to me is also fairly surprising. It definitely hurts me, so like that's a positive for them, but like now they're building a dwelling that's not next to a neighbor, which means you don't get to use your cultist ability. So like it's one of those classic situations where I've said before, like I should be happy that my opponents are doing dumb things, but I'm just kind of annoyed. They could just be doing it to wreck me. Yeah, exactly. So this is the other problem of having a really high rating. You do wind up facing opponents that just like to hurt you, even if it hurts themselves, which happens decently often when you're this high rated, and it's definitely annoying. Ondas used to talk about it a decent bit, and I agree. Like, and whatever. To be fair, it's kind of a decent strategy to, you know, if you have somewhat equivalent roots, choose the one that hurts the strongest player at the table. But you shouldn't just take bad moves in order to do it, but whatever. I'm going to put the trading post over here because this is where our temple goes, and I think I want a temple for Water 1 next round. I don't think I have the ability to eke out this town anymore. Seems really unlikely given the kind of slow start we've had here. Yeah. We're hopefully going to get to pass for 7 coins. We really need a lot of coins. Yeah, we do get to pass. At least this is a very fast game. Worst case, even if it goes terribly for us, at least it'll be over quick. Not getting early leech is actually kind of a sad thing too, because I would really like to get a priest, but we're just getting denied from the table early here, so we'll see if we can make it up later. But this isn't the best. Because of how slow our opening is, we might delay our sanctuary till round 4, because there's no way we're getting sanctuary next round. So then building it this round doesn't really make a ton of sense when we can get 4 points for it this round. But it will depend on the pass tiles, because if we get on the big building tile, then we probably should just still do it. But we'll see. It does look like I, at the very least, will get 4... even if I don't get this hex, which I don't super expect to, I should get this hex before cultists get here. And then I take these 2 hexes, and we just build 7 structures this game, is the general game plan for Swarmlings. The cult situation is way worse than I want it to be, though. So this again, this could burn a lot more than I was expecting. Swarmlings have such a good floor in general that I usually feel pretty safe about it, but when our opponents are doing things that are kind of slowing us down, that's definitely rough. Chaos are looking pretty good here. They got to open Sanctuary. They got the usual favors. I like that game plan. Now they can try. The only awkward thing actually is I guess they really need to like get this hex in order to get their Sanctuary town. So that's a kind of annoying double dig for them, but dwarves have a lot of power, but they're passing really late. Although I guess their opponents don't have power, so dwarves probably get double dig next round, which is good. I'm guessing dwarves might just take 2 more workers so that they can tunnel as an alternative, but no, they go worker power. We sadly still don't have enough power to do anything here. I think the play is that we're going to build a dwelling and we're going to build a temple, but I think we should build the dwelling first, because on the off chance that we somehow get Oh, like Chaos could actually give us power, and we could debate single digging, building another dwelling, and making a town this round. Um, there's a chance that we might still town, I guess. So as long as there's a possible path to that, we probably should play towards it before committing to the temple. Not having priest production and stuff yet is bad, but Chaos will double dig G6. Yeah, I'm assuming Chaos are going to take. I agree. I think Chaos are going to take this hex, and then they can build here and here still if they want to do a priest to worker conversion, which they might not, but building here, here, and here this round seems quite good. And indeed, they take that hex. It makes total sense. It doesn't look like we're going to have enough. It doesn't look like we're even going to get offered single dig. I expect dwarves are going to single dig this as their action. They really need spades at this point. I mean, they can tunnel some too. Dwarves almost have to tunnel here, actually, I think. But we do lose this green hex, so we are going to try to get to this brown now eventually. But this is okay. Now we just temple for water 1. What's our plan? That part of our point engine is together. And then we just build a trading post, probably. I don't know if it matters. I guess we do it here, because that way we can get some leech off the dwarves. And then we probably do pass for this tile, and we do just go for a sanctuary. I'm not even sure we have the ability to build a sanctuary, is why I'm hesitant, but we might be able to. We're going to be kind of slow about making towns at that point, but given how poorly the cults are going for us, I'm not even sure we want the 2-key town anymore. Because I think we're only going to like win a cult, so it's not ideal, but we'll see. Yeah. Not great. Not great, but not awful. Chaos are having a really nice opening here. I think they should build this dwelling, but I'm not sure they will. But I guess it doesn't even matter. I don't know. Having temp ship and not being able to build here is a little sad for Chaos. But I guess they can just get to it later. But this is going quite well for Chaos. I like what they're up to. The cultists, I don't really like what they're up to. I'm not sure what this trading post is for. I mean, maybe it's another temple, which is okay, but it's not particularly good. Cultists getting the priest to air there is at least good, but cultists aren't expanding super fast, which is kind of predicted on this map, but Chaos does send a priest to Earth. I think it's probably better to actually do a priest to worker there and just get another dwelling out while you can reach this hex for free, but I guess it's okay. This hex really isn't... Well, the problem is dwarves might take this hex on you, right? Like, when dwarves are here, this hex is under threat. So, like, I don't know if I would do that, but whatever. I'm not them. We produce 6 power, so we convert a power to a coin, and we pass. We probably do just take this big building tile. We could just go Sanctuary next round and just drop another trading post in Nowhereville. And then hopefully pass for the trading post tile the round after that. We'd open next round with a coins power action if we do that line. And we just get air 1 going. We might be able to send a priest to like water or fire if we get a chance. Or we could just send a priest to air actually and get a spade, which might be more important for us. Seems pretty good. I mean, we need points. I mean, the alternative is this, right? This is 4 points as well. But I think going for the big building tile is the best play here. We hope to get lucky then. Like I say, we hope to like take coins, make a sanctuary, upgrade, and hope just nobody else wants this. The problem is next round is build trading posts, so somebody might take this. The thing is, like, none of these players I think should build a lot of trading posts in round 3 because like cultists are doing double temple. They can't afford trading posts really. They go air 2, that's reasonable. But like none of them have great enough worker production yet to be shifting their economy into trading posts. But that doesn't stop players from taking tiles we want, so we'll see. But we really have to get past points this game, I think. Actually, more than I think. Like, that's definitely part of how we win. Not going for a spade is also a little risky, but cultists haven't advanced their shipping yet. And if they beat us to this hex, though, we do have some problems, because then we might have to like bridge up to here, and I'd like to avoid that. So I'd like to double dig this at some point, but I could open next round with double dig, for example, but I don't think that's a good move for us. I think it's better to just go for the sanctuary. Even though again, sanctuary scoring is in the next round, so it's a bit sad to not delay it. But because we get 4 points for the sanctuary now, plus we get the points from taking air 1, plus we get that double priest production, which is really good because we do need to start sending priests to cults in order to hopefully win some cults. While we kind of would like cult economy, I do think my goal this game is to just win like water cult and then hopefully pick up some other cult performances here and there, which isn't a lot of endgame points, and we don't have a lot of points. So I don't know. I'm far from convinced that we're going to win this game, but I'm not like. I don't think it's gone that terribly for us, but it's definitely been a very slow start. Right? We've got one leech all game thus far. To be fair, I've said before, Swarmlings don't need leech as much as other factions. All your stuff costs way more, so you don't benefit from leech as much. But you definitely benefit a bit from leech in terms of tempo on like actually getting a town out, or tempo on cult tracks and cult rewards. And so you snowball a little. But hey, I think if you crop the camera window, you could get all the pastiles. Oh, you guys can't see the other pastile because I have my camera too big. Yeah, you're absolutely correct, Crix. I could just do that, and now that would solve that. So yeah, good call. Thanks for dropping in, and thanks for the suggestion. All right, actually, I can go back to being slightly larger. It looks like do something about there-ish. I said I was taking coins in order to build a sanctuary. That looks to be still the best play. We are going to have the option to actually take some leech this round, probably. And we're going to have to seriously consider those options. Cultists are probably going to take this hex, actually, the more I look at it. They're going to double dig this out to have a sanctuary town, which is totally reasonable, but gosh, it's going to be way too much leech for us, but that's okay. There's a lot of priests in the game. I would like priest to water. If I don't get priest to water, priest to air I think is pretty good. Priest to air maybe is still better, actually, to be fair. We really do need spades as well, because we need 1, 2, and then still like 3, 4, and we can eventually advance dig and stuff, but I don't know. Chaos did take our trading post tile, so exactly like I didn't want somebody to, they did take it. Even though, again, I don't think it's particularly good for them, because like I think Chaos are gonna end this round with maybe 1 trading post. But I guess it was a worker, 2 coins, and 2 points. There are worse things. We definitely declined this. This is way too expensive. 6 for 5. We're never gonna make up those points. I probably am just sending priest to air, which is a little disappointing because the tempo on the water track is very nice, but I just don't think it's justified. Dwarves digging this out is really interesting compared to digging this out. I wasn't paying attention to why that happened. I could send priest to water and get 3 leech, and then hope that we get a priest power action still. When cultists build this, we leech 3 more. That's 6 power, so we would gain 4 and 2 more, and then take a priest power action. And that lets us have a pretty long round to hopefully get on this tile. I kind of like that, actually. I think that gets us both of what we want. It's a little risky, but I don't see any reason cultists aren't going to build this. I guess the only reason is if they want to build a trading post rather than build more dwellings, because yeah, I really shouldn't try to predict these opponents, but gosh, whatever. We'll gamble a little. This can't be that wrong anyhow, because we need points probably. So they want to reach the left side through I3, and they want to build a sanctuary there anyhow. So I mean, I guess But like if you take this hex and then you actually do get to this hex, you actually connect, which is probably pretty important. I've been starting to debate, by the way, like if I need to actually think about connecting this game because of the fact that dwarves might not connect. It might be worth it for me to take. I've been pointing to these two hexes just because I thought dwarves might come here eventually, but like I probably should aim to take this hex, and then I might wind up advancing ship this game just for points, and then I will have to seriously consider dropping one dwelling just to connect. Um, because 8 network might be enough for some network VP. So we'll find out on that front. We do already have enough power to take a priest power action. I would never get to double dig again, which is a bit of a downer, especially since I do think we need to, on some level, fight cultists to this. But I don't know. It might be okay. Well, it's Swarmlings going down to that few power tokens is really sad. I guess I still have an action to build a trading post and build a sanctuary, and then hopefully by that point have enough power. So we'll see what happens the rest of this round. There's a chance that dwarves will give us power here. Chaos might still advance ship and build up into here. We'll see. Yeah, we're gonna sanctuary and get an air one, so that'll be good. We're gonna build a trading post here. Building a trading post here is a little sad because it's overbuilding a town, but again, I'm just building 2 towns, so I don't really care. We do get a 2 for 1. That's pretty nice. We really need 1 more power though, so I don't have to burn, but we'll probably get there. Even if a cultist does build a trading post now, I will accept a 4 for 3 at this point. 4 for 3 is tolerable. But I think this is Sanctuary Air 1 for the moment. Yeah, Sanctuary Air 1 for the moment seems fine. So we at least like are already set to pass for 11 points this round, and if we can just kind of bump between some pass tiles, that's a lot of how we can score points this game. We're also eventually going to advance dig for points. We're going to build 2 towns. At this point, I don't see much value in the 2 key town for us, so we're probably aiming for 8 victory points or 9 victory point towns, maybe even just the 11 pointer. We just want high victory point towns. We hope to end this game at, like 120 points, and then we have maybe, 16 to 20 on the cults looks reasonable, and we're in the low 130s to 140s. It's not a great game, but this track is really ugly for scoring points. One of the things I haven't mentioned yet is we're going to build a temple regardless in the last round, just so that we can actually build the last trading post, because the way the Swarmlings work is we're building a trading post every round. But in order to build a trading post in round 6, Chaos goes for the 2 key town. Makes a lot of sense, but I think we're happiest with Chaos getting it, actually, because it looks like that'll create a lot of competition between them and Cultist that'll continue being annoying all game. Cultist does build this, which is nice. We get our 3 for 2, which we wanted, and we do get to take a priest and send it to air, which does a lot of good things for us. We do still really want to take this hex at some point, so that is definitely a consideration for us. But we probably will get there. I do think I take the priest power action now. I think that's very important to our plan. I assume Chaos can't have too many more actions. They do advance ship, which suggests that they're going to come build here. That means we're going to get another leech offer, but I don't think I even want to accept it. Oh, and we're getting another leech offer here too. Yikes. I just don't think we do much with power. I don't like what am I aiming for with this power? I don't think it does me anything good anymore, so I think I'm declining these powers at this point. We got the one we needed, so it didn't really deny the cultists much in terms of what they're doing. So, but I think we still do beat cultists to this hex at this point because they've made no attempts to get here before us, so that part's still good. But Chaos are about to build here, so this is gonna kind of have to be our next priority, but it can be our next priority pretty quickly. We are gonna send a priest there. Getting a spade is actually really helpful for us still. Plus we're actually still partly in delay mode because we want Chaos's pass tile. Again, we still don't want these leeches. We're gonna be producing 8 power anyhow, so like we're gonna be maxed out. I'm not sure we get double dig next round. Getting double dig next round is actually kind of ideal, but I don't think we're gonna manage that. So we'll see. I think the cult dig probably is gonna just go out of the way. Well, maybe it goes here. This is pretty out of the way, but we'll see. Dwarves pass first. That's kind of expected. We make our trading post. Again, we only have one choice. We're hoping this means that Chaos Magicians are going to pass, but Chaos does have just enough resources now. They could convert 3 power to a worker and a power to coins just to build one more trading post. I don't think that's particularly good for them, but they could do it. Which would definitely be a bit annoying because their pass tile is by far the best for us. But we'll see. Again, we're at like an okay spot. We're passing for a lot of points. We have a decent economy built. We're doing pretty well on one cult track. The cult competition, again, though, is just kind of insane with chaos and cultists in the game. This is a lot of cult tracks already for the end of round 3, but makes enough sense. Makes enough sense. Chaos are really debating here what they should do. I think they should just pass for the ship tile, and then they should try to ship again next round and start expanding places further. But that's what I would do. We'll see what they choose to do. The fact they built the town this way, by the way, I didn't mention this before, but like it looks extra hard for them to find space for a second town now. I guess this second town would go somewhere up here, but they do pass. I think that's good. Cultists could pass for that tile, but I guess actually cultists have pretty crappy. Well, cultist temp ship or ship scoring looks pretty good for them. They really need to think about shipping soon to expand further, right? Like, but we'll see. Yeah, so they leave us the tile we want, so that worked out really well. We currently can accept only 6 power, but we produce 8, so we convert a power to a coin. That leaves us with the ability to double dig at the start of next round. Chaos can never double dig again. Dwarves dwarves will have the power to double dig, but well, they have reasons to. We'll see what happens. Being full of power can't be bad. We pass for this tile. We might have a really quick round next round in terms of like we just build a dwelling and a trading post and then we pass back onto this tile, but we'll see. We probably do really want to build this hex next round if we're at all able to. So but yeah, I don't see anything else to do here, so we pass, get a nice boost in our victory points from passing. Passing is how we're going to make a lot of our points this game. And now we see where these spades go. We could turn this blue, but I've somewhat soured on that idea. Time to get network points with 8 buildings. Yeah, so I still am thinking that. Chaos are turning that yellow. That was unexpected. It's reasonable. I probably shouldn't have not expected that, but that's really ugly for me. It's very ugly. So I'm not gonna fight them for that hex. It's too much work. But now I do need to bridge and get to this hex. Now the upshot is nobody really needs this hex, but again, we're playing against players that I don't really trust because sometimes they like to just do things. So Chaos could pretty easily just bomb this hex at some point. So that sucks. But at this point I will take this blue at least. Yeah, this is tricky. We might lose this center town, which would be pretty bad. It'd be pretty bad. The only upshot is I did forget Chaos can't actually afford to double dig. So there is that. I do want to have a pretty quick round just to get on this tile again. So I think I am just going to build this dwelling and make it a trading post and then reassess from there what I want to do. I mean, a small part of me wants to double dig and hard dig just to get this hex. Like, I could do that. It's pretty expensive, but it saves us the bridge and like it saves us a bridge and avoids a double dig and it annoys chaos. But it converts 2 priests into 2 workers, which feels iffy. It's not as bad as I thought though, because this just locks up a town. Converting 2 priests to 2 workers, I think, is the real reason not to do it, though. I think that's just too inefficient for us. I don't even know if I want to be able to leech 2-for-1s, but I guess I'm officially declining to double dig, so. Again, I make a trading post. This is one of those rounds I would kind of like to stay in, just because sending another priest to air or even 2 priests to air is pretty good for us. But this is also a bit awkward. Dwarves might wind up. Wow, did dwarves just take fire too? It's not good. I say that's not good, meaning it's not actually good for them, but sure. They got tempo on a town and they took one of the 8 victory point towns that we were talking about kind of wanting. So people are again really fighting the cults hard, which is okay, but a little awkward for us. Chaos advances dig. That makes sense. That's expected. I might get the chance to triple dig next turn. I thought that, but Chaos did just advance their dig. So I think Chaos are going to take this hex and build next. But the problem is this is now up for grabs, which is really not good. So, yeah, we're going to have to watch out for that. But, because, yeah, I think Chaos are going to just take this hex. But we'll see if they surprise me. But yeah, cultists are getting cut off now, which I forgot about. Cultists getting cut off is fun. Dwarves do decide to take another action, which means the problem is I think dwarves are like 100% going to build a stronghold next round, meaning this tile looks great for them, but it's really good for us. Wow, and the chaos are building a temple. I mean, they still could take. They can't easily take this hex. Gosh, if they leave this floating, then I will take it next round. Next round, I'm very willing to just go crazy on this. If they leave this, that would be really good for us. If they don't leave it, I think I have to just take a bridge at the start of next round. But Chaos are undoing their move. I hate that. Hopefully it's just because they needed to convert power, which I think it is. Yeah. Okay. This has been a very fast game, which I appreciate. They're taking water 2 and water 1. That's annoying. They're gonna time to get 12 network points with 8 buildings. Yeah, great. I agree. The crazy thing is because both cultists and dwarves are cut off, it does look like we could get just we could go for, we're gonna have very few buildings but get very good network, which is part of why we might win this game. These players have spent a lot of effort on cults and not effort on network, which is good. This is almost certainly going to be the last 8 victory point town. So yeah, our cult dreams are, it is. Our cult dreams are pretty dead, but we declined this. Oh, they accepted. I mean, do I really want to pay a point for a coin? I think the answer is no. Like, I don't think that does enough for us. So I'm just going to not. I am going to pass. Guaranteed 8 points feels better than pretty much anything else. Like, I think I can still eke this town out even if Chaos does take this, which Chaos very reasonably have the resources to probably take this as their last action. But we'll see. Maybe they decide they want to pass tile worse. I don't know. But I want to pass tile worse. We're up to producing 10 power. I really need workers pretty badly, so I think I'm converting 3 power to a worker and then 1 power to a coin here. I mean, I also need coins. Converting power to coins is more efficient, but I think it's going to be workers. I think this is correct. It is nice that we're getting more workers from the cults here. That's part of why I would like to send more priests to the cults. Getting more workers here would be great, but we're going to have to settle for pretty bad cult VP because our opponents are just investing so much effort into it, but it's all right. The good news is we're really hitting the pass victory points very well like we hoped. I think we'll still achieve a lot of what we're hoping to. The start of this next round, I would love to triple dig this. If I'm not allowed to triple dig, I think I do have to take a bridge as my first action, and then I have to start thinking about advancing dig and just taking this. Again, the big concern is Chaos have partially advanced dig, and if they're sitting on this hex, they can just bomb it on us, and they might. So maybe I don't build the bridge until I get that hex. How bad is the bridge pressure currently? The bridge pressure is not that bad. Cultists want one. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to think about that. Chaos do come here, unfortunately. So that's a decline, but... I think I am just going to open next round with coins now. Yeah, I'm going to just take coins and advance dig. We'll complete this town. Losing out on this town is going to be sad if that's what happens, but we have the ability to advance dig twice. We can advance ship. We can build this, and then we can hope to just get a bridge. And if we get bridge blocked, we get bridge blocked. We've had an awkward game throughout, so oh well. Chaos are going to nicely carve out a town up here, so that part's at least good news for them. They did get back on a pass tile, which is pretty nice. I don't know. Our game's still okay, but we definitely have some problems. But coins are not going to be one of those problems, at least. Yeah, this cult competition is brutal. I'm not even going to contest fire, right? Yeah, they're fighting over fire, so... I don't really have a lot of spare priests because I want to do things with my priests. I guess I'm taking priest towns at this point, so I do have some extra priest. But I think my next moves are to advance dig twice. And then dig and build one of these. I probably then consider advancing ship and digging and building this. If nobody takes a bridge this round, that'd be pretty incredible. But I don't really want to take the bridge until I have this hex. Just because, again, I don't trust Chaos Magicians in the slightest. So yeah, we'll see. We'll have a really long round and we'll see. Have a lot of incentive to take C3, but I'm not sure they expend resources on A5 just to block me. So I agree. I don't know how much I should be worried about Chaos blocking me, right? I don't know the answer to that, but these are the sort of players that I don't really trust to do anything, and some players are very inclined towards block moves. So sending the last priest to water here seems probably too good to pass up. It also allows us to threaten water 3 instantly next round, which we might want to do. I mean, one of these yahoos might take water 3 before us, but at least it forces them to continue doing bad things. And I don't really see... We want to advance dig twice and we want to advance ship once, but I don't see what the last priest is for. The only other answer would be to send to air, which is reasonably good, but it's not as contested as this. So we'll do that. We also now have the ability to take a bridge at any point, which is worth something. The ship tile is sitting here. I did miss that. We could have tried to have a kind of quick round, but I just don't think we're having a fast round. So I guess we're going to hope to get back onto Chaos Magician's tile after having just a really long round here, but we'll see. The cult battles are just crazy. Dwarves just sent a priest, or no, dwarves just use this in order to get one step, but I wonder if Chaos Magicians cares enough to win Fire Cult right here. Although they can't. They have to make a trading post, which is what they're doing. I do wonder if this is a temple. Probably is. Again, like, for whatever reason, there's definitely like this urge and like kind of mid-ranked players just to really rush, really fight for cult points. And this was always going to be a cult fighty game because of these factions. But as I said, like, I think Chaos Magicians could be having a great game right now if they just focused on scoring off of Earth 1, Water 1, and winning Network. I mean, I guess they're going to win Network anyhow because people got cut off. But, like, Yeah, I don't know. I think they have a lot of options to try to score off of this, like to score off of past tiles and other things, and I'm guessing they're gonna just go win cults here. But oh well. Yeah, Crix, I do agree. I think that is. I'm kind of realizing that right this game right now, right? Like I think I had a really good game plan, and I have a good uh, I have a pretty good thing going. But these players have fought cults way more aggressively than I thought. I mean, the other big downside was that I just didn't have a neighbor. Losing 4 coins in round one and having the slow start I did due to like no leech and stuff wasn't great. But oh well. I'm still doing good enough things. I might accept this 2 for 1. I said I didn't really have use for 2 for 1s, but maybe I do. It allows me to at least think about more power actions, which maybe is worth something. Dwarves go for a priest town, which is fine, but gosh, I'm also in like the first game where players aren't just desperate for coin towns and stuff, which is what a lot of players usually are. So I'm also kind of losing tempo on getting the towns I want. Chaos are going for cults. This is going to be almost guaranteed fire 2 and water 3, which is unfortunate, but it's also the Chaos have invested so many resources into building up when they could be doing better things. So, they do take Air 1 rather than Water 3, so that's actually a bit of a break because Water 3 is actually a pretty good path to victory points for us next round. I feel like seeing the heavy focus on cults, you probably could have advanced ship and dug first to secure that gray while they fight for cults. So, I mean, I could have, but I'm advancing my digs right now. I will advance my ship and get up here. Like, I'm just taking a really long round. Um, will Chaos take this from me? I don't know. I mean, at this point, Chaos doesn't have a lot of resources. They need to take this hex and then take these hexes anyhow. I'm not sure how much they're paying attention to me, so we'll see. I mean, cultists are slowly creeping up on another cult because everybody keeps accepting them, which is fair, but I would not mind if they got declined. I did forget that the cultists had partially dug this, so cultists don't actually want a bridge. So the good news is none of our opponents actually want this bridge, I don't think. So I think I am going to get away with a very long round and complete this town because I think nobody's going to take the bridge on us. So our next move is to dig and build, and then we'll upgrade. And then we'll get workers because of the town gives us workers. And then we can probably get up here. Chaos Magicians are going to get like no points out of this tile. The Dwarves are actually looking like some way our biggest threat because they're actually scoring. Our other opponents are failing to score while they're putting so much effort into cults. That time the cultists took a step on Earth. Maybe they just wanted the resources, but not fighting water hard is kind of surprising. I guess cultists are probably going to just beat us to Temple Water 3 next round, but I guess again, whatever. Like, we just accept that our opponents are going a little wild. It's hard for me to tell, but it looks like dwarves and cultists don't have a lot of actions left, while chaos magicians might. And we do want to stall them out, so I think I'm going to just turn this blue and not build on it. And build on it next turn. I guess we still have a ton of actions. I probably can just build it. But no, I don't know. I think I do want to just have the longest round. I think that's fine. Somebody should want to pass for the ship tile pretty early too. I mean, dwarves don't need it, but dwarves passing and blocking it's actually pretty funny. Cultists probably, their next action probably should be to pass. I mean, leaving this hex I guess is risky. So maybe their next action is to single dig priest to worker and build that. But pass points are really good. So I don't know. We'll see. Chaos presumably will carve out town space rather than dig us out, but still a little nervous about that, but we'll see. Chaos are at least trying to build some trading posts to score on their pass tile, so that's good. We don't need that. Cultists are just going for their town right now. Makes sense. A lot of the good towns are disappearing, so that sucks. They can't connect, so actually I don't know what they're gonna. They probably are just going for like 11 points, which means we are gonna have to take a pretty crummy town tile. But oh well. I guess I can settle for a ship town. No, probably a worker town still, right? We just need points more than other stuff, but. Yes, Crix. I am very much hoping that Chaos passes third and that they don't mess with our hex and that I get to take a long round of securing this hex, building the bridge, getting the town, and passing for the trading post tile. That's a pretty good outcome if that happens. Um, and I think it will. I think there's a decent chance that happens, but we'll see. Cultist does take a 2 worker town. That's a good break for us too because we might get these 2 towns, which is still what we want. Um, we might get the breaks we're hoping for in terms of a lot of this stuff right here. We're not going to get the breaks on the cults, I don't think. I do think cultists are going to open next round for temple to secure water cult, whereas I want to open temple water 3 next round because I'm building a temple, but I don't have anything I need. So winning a cult is really good. I'm not going to get any points on earth or fire. These guys have gone crazy, right? So like I could maybe pick up I could maybe take air 3 and but basically, to be honest, I'm getting very few cult points this game, which is kind of sad. But it's also okay because our opponents have invested a lot of effort into it, and it's really hurt their actual scoring potential. Dwarves just took a priest. Dwarves are trying to stall out chaos, which makes enough sense because dwarves want a pass tile, but it's annoying for us. Especially because chaos very reasonably will just pass onto this tile. So I don't think we're going to get the pass tile we want anymore the more I'm looking at it. And indeed we're not. Chaos are just going to pass for the ship tile that's still sitting there. That's unfortunate, but very understandable. It's unfortunate because I think some of our other opponents probably should have jumped at that opportunity faster. And indeed, dwarves are now just going to get punished. Dwarves are going to try to outlast us, but they won't. With that said, we do get our 2 towns, so I can't be that sad. I just don't get a pass tile for the final round, which is a bit of a shame, but that's okay. We will survive. All right, we go ahead and take a priest town here. Right, I'm gonna get 3 workers back. This cost me 2 workers plus 2 more workers. That's all I need. Yeah, perfect. Yep, take a priest town. We'll get an unusually high amount of network points. Yeah, it does look like we're going to get 12 network points, which I did forget about, right? I will have to advance ship 2 more times and then build like this hex or this hex or this hex. Who cares? I'm building one of the hexes and my 8 structures. You know, to be honest, maybe we wind up building some extra structures and just fighting network. I don't know. These guys are doing nothing on network, but I advance ship. Like chaos aren't even doing that well on network, right? I mean, they're gonna build these 2 things, but like they've built very little. There's a chance we could just outright win network, which would be pretty dumb, but hey, Relentless. Yeah, thanks for the congrats. Yeah, I didn't mention that yet on this stream, but I did qualify for F2O, which is very nice. I think maybe I already mentioned that on another stream, but qualifying was really a good outcome. I definitely wanted to participate in the tournament again. Is really nice. So anyhow, we get to build this. So we do at least get our town, which we really wanted. I am burning. Oh, I don't have to burn power. I can send a priest to air, which I may as well do because I don't have anything better to do with this priest. I'm still producing 2 priests anyhow, and I might wind up taking temple air 3. Yeah. May as well do this. Then do this. And take the 11-pointer. We produce a ton of power, so we convert power to a coin before passing, and then we may as well just take 4 coins and a cult step. I mean, 3 coins and 3 power is not as good. Yeah, 4 coins and a cult step is the answer here. As I was hoping we have done very well in terms of direct victory points. I'm not quite sure I'm going to hit the 120 I was hoping to, but I'm not going to be that far off. I'm going to be much further off the like 20-ish cult victory points I was hoping for, but I am going to have a lot more network. So, I mean, we're still on pace for like 130 to 140, which feels pretty good. Dwarves have no pass tile. They have decent cults, but low network. And they don't have a ton of points this round. So we'll see. The coins go first. Cultists don't have a lot of resources, but I'm still expecting to see Temple Water 2 here. But if we're allowed to Temple Water 3, that'd be nice. But Temple Air 3 is acceptable. I kind of do want a Workers' Power action. There is an argument to maybe take that first. But just always should build A6 there to secure connection and irregardless of the worker you lost out on. Oh, yeah, actually that's very reasonable. I had the resources to dig and build, and then I could have got another worker. Yeah, no, you're right. That was sloppy. I was supposed to use our town resources to build this hex. Yeah, that was bad. That was slop. I should have dug there, but oh well. Building the greed definitely made sense. Yep, that was definitely a mistake on my part. Building this would have been better, but oh well, I didn't. I mean, I don't think it's going to cost me too much, but it did cost me a worker, which is not trivial here. Cultists are going for Priest to Water rather than Temple, so I am just Templing Water 3 as my first action. I'm going to convert 3 power to, well, actually, I was about to say I'm going to convert 3 power to a worker, but I don't think I should. Dwarves look like they're maybe on a madman's chase to this hex in order to connect. Have they advanced digging? Oh, they did advance digging. I missed that. So the dwarves are going to connect, which does change the network math a decent bit. But it's totally okay. Although they're going to do pretty well now if they're doing network. But anyhow, I will convert 2 power to coin, and I'll make this a temple, and we'll take water 3. Okay, that was at least a good break. I think if the workers come back, I might take them. Nah. I just build this. Never mind. I just build this dwelling advanced ship twice, right? There's really no point to doing anything else. Yeah, I should just build this dwelling. Getting more workers doesn't really help because I'm not going to build enough dwellings for it to matter. I guess the workers lets me build 1 more structure, so is 9 structures going to matter compared to 8? And the answer to that is, who knows at this point? Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to worry about it. I don't think it's worth worrying about. I think just building this hex next is the right move anyhow. Dwarves are doing pretty nice stuff. They have 1 more dwelling they get to build, so they just tunnel and build this. Brings them up to like 102. They pass, they win network, 120, 128. They're low 130s, which is pretty good. That might be enough to beat us, actually. We'll see. But anyhow, I build this dwelling next. Yeah, I build here. We have 3 more points when we build our free trading post, and then we have another 3 is 6. 10, pass for 4 more is 14. We do hit 117 and then 125, call it 127, plus we should beat Cultist Network, so we're just like at 133, 134-ish. Oh, yeah, I think it's dwarves that we have to worry about the most here. But there's not much we can do to hurt them either, so we just kind of wait to see how it goes. I don't think cultists are any threat at all here. They have like no network points. They do pass for some points at least, but they don't have much. They don't have many direct points they can earn here. So even if they pass for 8, they'll be at like, let's say 90 with no network and, you know, pretty good cults, but they're at like 110, maybe into even the low 120s, but it's not really concerned. So then it's chaos is the only other like consideration, and they're only at 56 points. They do get to advance ship several times. They are gonna build another town. They are gonna. I mean, they have a lot of resources, which convert into some points for sure. And then they're presumably gonna get second on network, if not still eke out first. And they've done okay on the cults, although their cult. So them investing so heavily into the 2 key town and then only locking up 1 cult and getting a third, quite possibly another third if they're not going to invest more, and like second is not particularly good. And so this is part of what I was saying earlier, like fighting very hard for the cults when everybody's fighting cults is, it's not that easy for chaos to keep up unless they just build a lot of temples in order to take a lot of favors, and or they need to actually generate a lot of, I guess the chaos's bigger issue is they haven't sent a lot of priests to cults, which is hurting them a lot too. Cultists do wind up building a temple. That temple looks pretty bad. Or no, did they? What did they just do? I don't know what they did. They built a dwelling. Maybe? I don't know. Whatever. Dwarves do tunnel and build there. Makes sense. We don't have a lot to do besides advance our ship. Dwarves do get to 11 network. Chaos are going to get to at least 9 and pretty easily can push to 10 or 11, and they should. So there's really no reason for us to take workers and try to like build this hex. In fact, it just makes for a cheaper trading post, which I don't really want to do. So yeah, we advance ship again. I eventually take this cult step on air. I build another trading post with this. Now cultists are building a temple. That's not a good temple. When you have this pass tile, I mean, I guess they could take air 1. It's not that bad of a temple, but it's a bit awkward. Yeah, we don't have to be concerned about them. We're advancing ship again. This is at least a fast game, which was pretty nice. These guys all took moves pretty rapidly. We might have actually wound up being the slowest because after having to think through some tricky spots. But we've had a pretty nice game despite the awkward start. So, I mean, the Swarmlings floor that I was talking about during the draft kind of came through here. Even though this was at many times and in several ways was kind of the worst case scenario for us. And our opponents investing this much into the cults is definitely not in the game plan. We're still putting up a pretty good game and probably winning. So I'm no longer really worried about the chaos. Looking at where they're at here, I don't really see how they can win. I actually am really hoping that chaos do push dwarves network though, because I don't actually want dwarves to get 18 network points, because they're again by far like the biggest concern for me in terms of they could actually win the game and not us. So hopefully chaos chooses to use their remaining resources to just build more dwellings in order to fight network. If they're going to ship 3 anyhow, they they can dig and build these 2 or dig and build these 2, and it's pretty cheap and it's really good victory points. So hopefully they will, but we'll see. Chaos Magician does take a coin town. That will help them advance ship twice and still build some dwellings. So hopefully that is their conclusion. We go ahead and build a free trading post. Whoops, I should do it. I should do the free trading post here just in case chaos builds here. We get a free power. And I would like to eke every little point I can here. I guess currently I have it positioned that we're getting a free power regardless. Nah, oh well. Advanced ship. I should convert a power to a coin and take this step on air. If we do get a free leech from chaos for some reason, we do actually get another point. I don't expect it to happen, but it'd be pretty sweet if it does. We pass here. We're out of things to do. Yeah. I'm pretty sure this is a win for us. We're already 15 ahead. We do have third on network, and we did it. It looks like we're getting. It looks like we're basically getting the same victory points dwarves are on cults. So I don't really see how we can lose. Taking the priest and sending it to the air is probably worth it. So I'm giving up a point on resources, but eh, I guess it guarantees these air points, whereas chaos are probably sending a priest to air. Is your thoughts? Yeah, that's reasonable. Um, the only thing is chaos. It looks like could build 3 dwellings, which is even better for them. So they shouldn't. I don't think they should send this priest to air because they should build a dwelling, build a dwelling, build a dwelling. Right? They could build 3 dwellings with, yeah, 3 workers and 2 digs, so 5 workers. Did they fully advance dig? They did. Yeah, I mean, I think Chaos's best end game here is to, yeah, they are going to give us our free power too, which is pretty sweet. But they are building this, and then they should just build 2 more, right? Yeah, they should build 2 more dwellings. Um, oh, wait a sec. Oh, but they still have the priest, so they are still going to send a priest to air. In which case, yeah, I probably should have blocked this off, but oh well. I don't know. I'm not actually sure it matters. Um, I think it'd be spending a point in order to get a point. Now, it would be denying chaos another point, so then and on that front it's probably worth it, but whatever. It's obviously a real meager thing. Oh, they have water too. They do still have water too active. Okay. Well, I should have taken this last priest location to block them out, but oh well. They do go ahead and win network outright, and then they are going to pass us, which is the right moves. They should be doing this. Maybe they are back into this game. Maybe I've underestimated them because they are passing now for 3 and 9 is 12, and they're winning network, and then they've won a cult, and they're getting decent. Yeah, I don't know. They're still in this too, actually. What are they going to be at? I guess we'll see in a sec. But they have 18, 26, 28, 30, 34 post game. 34 post game's a lot. I don't think it's enough, but it's real close, actually. So 34 is going to take them to 127. I did break 130, so I do have this game, but this was pretty close. Um, yeah, it is always sad when you make the wrong endgame decisions on your resources. I mean, I again was slightly sloppy here. I should have taken that priest and sent it to air. Although to be fair, I guess as soon as I take the priest, I mean, Chaos always did have the option. Like they had enough resources already; they could have responded if they saw ahead far enough. So then we just lose it. Well, I guess we still tie them potentially. Yeah, whatever. I don't know. We didn't do it. It doesn't really matter. It could have mattered, but it doesn't. Uh, this was sloppy too. We could have had 1 extra worker, but I don't think the 1 extra worker actually matters. So it is pretty nice to pick up 6 network points this game, just because cultists kind of failed to connect. So that was good. And yeah, we have just a nice win, a decent number of point victories actually. This wasn't quite as close as I thought, but yeah, we did just enough here. So that was sketchier than I was hoping it to be, but that was a win. And we go ahead and we get up to gold 3, which is nice. We're on a winning streak apparently. Yeah, that was a quick game. Yeah, we did take the longest time. Not that this is like that long of a game. 20 minutes for each player is pretty nice, but these guys were speedy. This guy is like playing a bullet game almost, but it does look like the bids were pretty fair actually though at the end. People got pretty close. We might have paid a little too much for swarms, although again the start was more awkward than I thought. What is my thoughts on placing my first dwelling on the bottom blue between the 2 grays? What if I had gone here? So if I go here, I get a hell of a lot more leech, and I double dig these 2 hexes, and then I build my stronghold and then aim for my sanctuary. That's pretty good. I probably should have given a lot more thought to that. Because if I just go here and I double dig these hexes, I make Chaos's life more annoying by taking this hex. Nobody cared about the center anyhow. I just build my 4 hex town over here, and I make my stronghold sanctuary town here. Um, that seems pretty good actually. I would have got a lot more early leech, which maybe even could have enabled the round 2 town. Um, it would have meant that I didn't have to spend that awkward 4 coins in order to make my stronghold. I wasn't able to build the other dwelling because of that. Yeah, I think that would have been a pretty good route. I didn't seriously consider it enough during the auction. Again, it's I guess this is where even like I have a decent bit of experience on this map, but there's so many matchups and so many different starting spots people would try out. I've never really thought about this spot for swarms, but these 3 hexes are, I think these are pretty viable for swarms in at least this matchup. Um, to just aim for the sanctuary town. Now, the downside, I guess, to this spot is now I don't have a good way to pick up network points because I think I'm still starting over here as Swarmlings. I think it's really nice to have an area you don't have to fight for. Starting in the center here and here, I think, is way too aggressive because I think that's just too many hexes you have to worry about. But yeah. Oh, you're thinking about G4. You're thinking about this one. Oh. Uh, I guess this one you have to bridge to, but that's not that bad. I like this one. The more I was thinking about this one, I like this. This one I'm not sure about. First dwelling D4 to try to discourage dwarves. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I don't know. There's definitely good argument that there should still be more exploration on this map. So, anyhow, I usually like to just peek at people's power breakdowns. We got 2 coins actions, which is always pretty good. Somebody got 3. Chaos did. That's impressive. Dwarves actually had a pretty good game without ever getting a coins action, which is kind of surprising. The spades were pretty evenly distributed. None of us actually had to go for many bridges, which is pretty surprising. We did not actually use that many power actions throughout the game, which isn't that shocking given that I'm expecting that we didn't actually have that much leech. Power gain via structures is 9. That's very low. Although I guess our opponents weren't leeching off each other that much after the opening round either. But yeah, that's not a lot off structures at all. But as expected, we did not get a lot off the rounds. But holy shit, how the Chaos Magicians got 3 points off the rounds. That's 1 trading post in the trading post round. It's not a great way to win. Usually, we did well on favor tiles as expected. We did do quite well on the pass tiles, which we were hoping to. So that was really good. So that part of our game worked out. We got high victory point towns. We didn't get as much post game as we wanted, but a lot of this other stuff worked out pretty well. And then we still got all these victory points from advancing on tracks and stuff. This is why I and other experts have recently been arguing for this like 7 structured style swarmlings, because often if you try to eke out the last town, like you're getting a 3rd town, but you're investing so many resources into not digging and not shipping, and it's just like the number of resources that it takes to upgrade digging and upgrade shipping are less than what it takes to like build out that whole 3rd town. And so yeah, it's just a nice way to go at it all. So ultimately we actually earned the most victory points even, which is pretty nice. We did have the like lowest leech. So again, I think ultimately a lot of the problem for our opponents is they just didn't build enough economy. They just built up way too much. Cultists never shipping on this map is, I think, just a huge mistake. Especially when the ship tile is in the game, if they had just shipped earlier, they could have easily won the race to this hex. Then they actually connect, and they get to build like all these dwellings. They actually get to really leverage the fact that they took Earth 1. They took Earth 1 this game. You start with 2 structures, right? So they've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, not even an 8. They have 7 structures. We built more structures than they did. They only built 5 dwellings. This is a 10-point Earth 1. Taking a 10-point favor in round 1 is not very good. So yeah, they had problems and just they should have built more. Dwarves, I think, actually had a pretty good game plan. I'm not totally sure where their inefficiencies were. I think dwarves are just really hard on this map, but I think they did pretty good things. I guess Fire 2 looks like the real mistake to me. Why take Fire 2 when you could have taken Water 1 and probably built some more trading posts? But I guess Fire 2 gave them tempo on maybe winning a cult, but and then Chaos Magicians had a pretty good game. I mean, the fact that they win network on 11 or on 12 structures is pretty silly. It's not much network, but again, nobody really went huge econ. I do think Chaos Magicians built one too many early temples. They built this temple in whatever round. It wasn't the last round. I think in order just to like win a cult, which I guess winning a cult when you take the 2 key town is probably worth it, but this is a really awkward. Chaos basically invested way too much in cults and did not get enough victory points out of them. I think if they had chose to just invest more in, well, again, the rounds and the pass tiles, they probably have a better game. And they don't lose that many cult victory points. But, oh well. Anyhow, it was fun. And Gray's hypothesizing some fun thoughts, which is totally fair, but don't know if I have a lot of replies on that right now, especially since I'm not super awake. I should just go to bed. But it was fun to get one more. It was fun to get another Terra Mystica stream in here. So, thanks to those who watched. Hope it was a fun time. Hope it was a good example of just this kind of Hordling style build up Swarmlings. It was probably a pretty good example of how you can kind of roll with punches and constantly change up our plans, because some of this is more awkward than it was hoping to be, and it was an awkward round 1, but still worked out in the end, so that was cool to show off. Anyhow, yeah, it was fun. I'll see you all around. Bye.